In this question, we're asked to convert some compound units. So here we have a number, centimeters per millisecond squared, and we want to know this number in meters per second squared. So we need to do two conversions, and in order to do these two conversions, we need two equalities. We need to convert centimeters to meters, because the distance unit has changed, and we also need to convert the millisecond squared to seconds squared, because we see the time unit has changed as well, or the time squared unit has changed as well. So let's start with the distance equality first. So we know that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So we can do this conversion. 0.00346 centimeters per millisecond squared times. Now, in the final conversion, we want meters on the top, and we want to get rid of centimeters. Since centimeters are on the top here, we want to put the 100 centimeters on the bottom, so they'll cancel out, and put the 1 meter on the top. Now for the second conversion, you can just do it right in line, or of course you could do it in 2 steps. Like all of these problems, there's lots of different ways to do it. Here I'm going to do it in one line. So now we need a relationship between milliseconds squared and seconds squared. Well, I know that 1 second equals 1,000 milliseconds. In order to take the square of the units, I need to square both sides. So I want to square this side, and I want to square this side. So now I have 1 squared, which is still 1 second squared, equals 1,000 squared. 1,000 squared is 1 million, or written in scientific notation, 1 times 10 to the 6 milliseconds squared. This is just 1,000 squared, 1,000 times 1,000, and then the units are also squared, milliseconds squared. So 1 second squared is 1 million milliseconds squared. Again, I took the relationship between seconds and milliseconds, and then I squared them because this is a square relationship. In this case, I have milliseconds squared on the bottom, so I want to put 1 times 10 to the 6 milliseconds squared on the top to get this to cancel out, and 1 second squared on the bottom because that's the unit that I ultimately want. Now before we do the math, let's check the units. You see you have centimeters on top here and bottom here, so they cancel out. You have milliseconds squared on the bottom here and on the top over here, so they cancel out. And my units are going to be meters per second squared, the only 2 units that are left. Meters are on the top and seconds squared are on the bottom. Now I just multiply by the top, divide by the bottom, multiply by the top, divide by the bottom, and when you do all that math, you end up with 34.6 meters per second squared.